Good afternoon and welcome to FM's Professor Chat. My name is Mimi Eglin and I'm an admissions counselor at FM. We are very excited to have you all here today to learn more about our arts and digital design degrees. I want to take a minute to remind you that you are all muted. So if at any point during the presentation you have a question, please utilize the chat feature and I will direct your question to the appropriate professor. The degrees that we are covering this afternoon are Media Arts and Technology, AAS, Fine Arts, AS, and Entertainment Technology, AAS. I'd like to introduce you to the three incredible professors that are with us this afternoon. First, we have Joe Marcuccio, Professor of Media Arts and Technology, Joel Chapin, Professor of Fine Arts, and Jason Radelin, Assistant Professor of Entertainment Technology. I will now turn the presentation over to Joe Marcuccio. Joe?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mimi, for the great presentation. And I would like to welcome each and every person to FMCC and to say thank you and to say that welcome to the family, because we are a tight-knit community and we have a good rapport with each other as professors. And just to give you a little background about myself, I've been teaching at FMCC for 35 years, and I began working in the graphics in a family business. Then through high school, went through programs for print technology, and then on to the U.S. Navy for lithography and printing and graphics. Stayed in for 20 years in the reserve. Retired at an age of 38, which was a while back, but it is one of those career paths that I chose. And from there, I went on to RIT for 4 years, and I was a major in print graphics and photography and print management. Then went on further to SUNY Albany for a master's in curriculum development and planning. So that's a career path that I chose. So I've been in the business for quite a long time. I'm also a past president of the International Association of Printing House Craftsmen, a member of the Education Association of Graphic Arts Educators and Graphic Arts Technology Foundation. And also I spent 3 beautiful semesters and teaching at the American University at Rome in Rome, Italy. This is during the 2013, 14, and 15 short summer session. So I found that to be a very good way of communicating with students in different countries as well. And so from there, I would like to just give you a brief synopsis of what's going on with our program. It's Media Arts and Digital Technology is the name of the program. And what you should come prepared with is a digital camera, if you have one for photography, for instance, and a USB device also. And you will need books and tools such as possibly a Wacom pad if you would like to do some more digital drawing on your own. The books will be available through the bookstore, so you'll be able to see what you will need in the fall. Also, I would like to say, well, what will you learn during this time frame? Well, we go through a variety of pieces of software in the Adobe realm, and that's one of the pieces of software that you would need to purchase at $19.95 a month, and that is a software put out by Adobe, which includes Adobe Dreamweaver, Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, and Adobe Bridge and Camera Raw, which we all use those applications for a variety of programs that we offer in terms of the the coursework and things like that. Also, there's another piece of software called Painter 2020, and that's another one I use in the digital drawing course, which is the beginning course, along with Adobe Illustrator. So those are things that you need to consider if you are going to be involved in this program. It starts off with digital drawing and illustration, and digital photography. And some of the projects that you'll be getting involved in as you work through the program, uh, a lot of it has to deal with graphic design as well. Just to give you an idea, we plan things out on a piece of paper. And I know, I'll hold that up so you can see that a little bit better. I guess there it is. Okay, so from here, we go to the finished product, which is this particular piece here, which is, again, holding it up. I'll try to get it closer for you. It's a digital portfolio, and what it is, it's okay. I'm going to have to sit still here, and if I flip through it, you'll see all the projects that students will work on. We also do digital calendars, digital coloring books, label work for digital design, such as I'm holding up a bottle here, and this bottle is a wine bottle. There's no wine in it. It's something that we would create the label for, and then we would attach it to the bottle, take this into the studio, photograph it, and create an advertisement. So you start with a design, you go into a studio photography piece, and then that piece goes into your final portfolio. So it's a step-by-step process. And so these projects are what you would learn during the 2 years that you are involved in with my program. Other things you might be asking questions about is what kind of occupations are out there. A lot of our students have gone on to work at Amsterdam Printing and Litho, Quad Graphics, New Art Printing in Albany, and then ad agencies, real estate firms that would like to have their communication specialist design graphics so that they could show a house and have some photography done for the interior of the house. Also Mohawk Paper, entry-level positions such as Kinko's, and you've heard on the radio, the UPS store, which does printing and different kinds of graphics. So it's places like that that you would probably get involved with in the the beginning stages of your career. Going on from that, if you were to transfer, I would, just for a long history that I have, I'm going to give you a bunch of colleges that students have transferred to from my program. Rochester Institute of Technology, SUNY IT Utica, Sage College of Albany, St. Rose, Oswego, Cobleskill, New Paltz, SUNY Albany, and Oneonta, and other colleges as well. So we have a variety of different paths that students will take once they leave here. And I hope that I've answered most of your questions, or at least given you an idea of what we do here. And I'd like to bring it on next to Professor Chapin, Joel Chapin.
Hello. I'm so used to just being in a room with somebody. So anyway, I'm the Fine Arts Department, and sort of work between Joe Marcuccio with more the practical side of things, and Jason Rattling with entertainment technology. And I've been at FM for 30, going on 30 plus years now, and I had sort of come there as a student myself, actually to study wildlife biology, and found that I really enjoyed the art classes there. I was always interested in the arts, and next thing you know, I was an arts major, and found myself years later back at FM. So what we do at FM in the Fine Arts Department is really give you a really good basis in visual education. It really is a foundation program. So what that means is it's like other art departments where you're going to study, first of all, design. That's the cornerstone to really any kind of visual education. So that really will translate into so many different types of things. Now, if you are a creative type of person, and I have spent my whole career working with creative people. Probably this question has come up from your parents or your friends is, so you're going to be a starving artist, right? Well, I always throw this statistic out because every year I check with the U.S. Commerce Department. And of course, this year is kind of an abnormal year, but last year, the annual statistics was $736 billion that the arts generated in the United States alone. And to kind of put that into perspective, that's larger than all the money taken in from agriculture. It's $200 billion more than, say, all the transportation in the US. So I know that's hard to believe, but that is a fact. That is a very, very strong export that the US has, is its cultural products. I myself, when I got out of FM with a fine arts degree, it kind of gave me a really good starting point. I went on to Skidmore College in Saratoga, and I majored in printmaking, and I went from there to State University at Albany. And each time I did, my understanding of the arts got broader and broader, and I wound up working in just about every imaginable fine arts jobs that there were, mostly in the Capital District, some in New York City. And that is something that I use that experience with my students is more like an internship. Work very closely with myself and the adjuncts at the college. And we have approximately about 16 different fine arts offerings. We have quite a few for a very small college. And speaking of small colleges, that was the greatest appeal that I had. And I think my colleagues Joe and Jason would agree, is the strong point of us is that we do work personally with you. We care about your education. I just had a student 2 years ago had come to me, and he was really very, very serious about art. And it was his dream to go to Cooper's Union in New York City, which is a very, very famous art school. And he achieved that goal. And he was one of 17 out of nearly, I think, 20,000 people that applied for that program. So it is a program where, like I say, we emphasize design and drawing, which are really important for whether you go into, digital arts, whether you go into traditional arts. And as I found in my own career, you wind up doing a lot of things that you would have never dreamt you would do. But because you had a fine arts background, because you're a creative person, it opened a lot of doors. And I think that just like myself, FM was a good place to start. You work on a portfolio, and that's one thing that we pride ourselves in, is that you build this portfolio. You have a digital one, you have an actual portfolio, you learn to write resumes, you get prepared for either a job market, sort of a gig economy worker, or like probably the majority of our students, they go on to other colleges, and that has included everything from Chicago Art Institute to, SUNY Purchase, Philadelphia Academy. We've had several students go to Boston Museum of Fine Arts School. So it is a really a good place to start and save yourself a lot of money too. So one of the things that also that I really find my students tell me that they like is the fact that it is like that internship. Now, just recently developed a course that sort of is sort of fitting in with some of the changes that are beginning to happen in the fine arts. Everything from 3D digital animation programs, 3D printers, laser cutters. We've sort of developed a course that sort of takes you through like a project-based course of study where you would learn, get sort of introduced to some of these tools that you could well be working with on your own or in industry or with, you on your own as a independent gig worker. So that's really kind of exciting. And with that is built into it, providing intern opportunities, whether that is with a museum or gallery. That's another aspect we have at FMCC is we have the beautiful Perella Gallery. Maybe some of you have been involved with the high school regional. Unfortunately, this year was the first year in 30 years that we didn't have it for obvious reasons, but our gallery is really a teaching gallery, and I try to get students involved with working in the gallery because honestly, that's another opportunity to add to your, kind of toolkit of art skills. And often my students will start off working in museums, galleries, exhibition, fabrication. So things that you might not have even realized were out there. Movie props, and very long list of occupations that you can go into. But again, I really kind of stress the fact that we really focus on 2- and 3-dimensional design because that will help you, first of all, make up your mind which direction to go. You might take some classes in fine arts and then decide that you're going to take some graphics classes in Joe's program, or you may look at some of the opportunities that Jason Radelin has in entertainment technology. They all kind of overlap and we do work together very well. So I throw this invitation out to any of you. Please stop in. I invite you to say other students. And I think that's maybe one of the best ways to kind of get to see what you're getting involved with. It requires dedication and requires hard work. And we do have beautiful facilities. I'm stimulating. And I will try to provide all my expertise from very diverse kind of backgrounds and try to give it to you. So you can contact me, and I'm going to turn this over to Jason Radelin.
Actually, before you start, Jason, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt, but we did have a question come in. But actually, Joel, you just answered it. And the question was, am I able to take both fine arts and media design courses at the same time? So you did just cover that, but I wanted to make sure that I asked that. If you wanted to elaborate on anything, Joe, as well.
Some of my electives are graphics electives. So there's not all, but many of them are overlapping.
Okay.
And in the media arts and digital technology, you take the Art 150 2-dimensional design in the first semester. So you do take art with Joel Chapin.
Awesome.
In both our programs also, we have the, it's a 3D digital modeling class that Joe's students and the fine arts majors are required.
Oh, hold on 1 second for me. All right. One other question is for Joel again. Am I able to purchase my supplies from the bookstore, or do I have to purchase them elsewhere?
Is it for Joe or?
Well,
For both of you.
the books should be purchased through the bookstore if you are seeking to use your financial aid, as far as I understand. If you're buying them outright, then you are free to buy them wherever you choose. So that's a good question. And it's a matter of financial aid. And you might want to talk to the financial aid department regarding your choices of how you buy your books and supplies and equipment.
Now, is the camera that you needed, that you said that was needed, is that able to be purchased through the bookstore or not?
Bookstore does have cameras, but again, I would check with financial aid. If it is a financial aid need that you need to use that money, then it has to be purchased through the bookstore, as far as I understand. If not, then you're free to choose to where you want to buy that camera. So I think it's tied into that financial aid package.
Thank you. So now we will definitely turn it over to Jason Radlin, Assistant Professor of Entertainment Technology. Jason?
Thanks, Mimi, and thank you, Joel and Joe. I'm going to echo a little bit of what my colleagues have said, and I'll also add some things from my own perspective. But the three of us generally are, have programs that are cross-disciplinary. So, in any of these three programs, you'll find yourself taking classes, across disciplines. The particular program that I oversee is called Entertainment Technology, and it's relatively new. We're still in the beginning stages of it. We just started admitting students to it last year in the fall of 2019, and now in the fall of 2020, we're going to be admitting our second group of students, and I'm really excited about it. It's gone great for this first year, and I think it's only going to get better from here. So, what is entertainment technology? Entertainment technology, I like to refer to it as an interdisciplinary framework. It takes a lot of things from a lot of different fields and kind of puts them all under one umbrella. What kinds of things, you might ask? Well, there is the idea of live performance technology, that is audio and lighting and projection technology for live performance. Then there is audiovisual technology, what we used to call audiovisual technology, but is now essentially kind of moving into different kinds of fields, in different ways. But that is the use of a video camera and the use of microphones for recording. And the third kind of piece of the puzzle, the third major piece of the puzzle, is the games industry, video games and online gaming, in terms of the creative design aspect of that industry and the technology of that industry too. So the structure of the program, again, pulls a lot of different things. You'll be taking some courses that are under the umbrella of media and digital technology. You'll take some classes that are under the art department, and you'll also be taking some classes that are strictly having to do with the use of a computer through our computer science department. Plus, you'll be taking classes with me, such as Intro to Entertainment Technology, which try to kind of focus people on this broad spectrum of a field, but also the ability to kind of see the different pathways that one can take. As Joel mentioned a few minutes ago, we're living in a world right now which a lot of people refer to as the gig economy. That is, people who are freelancers who are able to move from job to job to job to job. And there's a way to do that. And it's one of the things that this program has specifically been geared for, is to essentially produce students who can work within that gig economy when they get out of FM. I should mention the program is designed as what we call an AAS program, Associate of Applied Science, which means that it is not necessarily geared for transfer to a four-year school. It is rather geared towards students who want to get out into the industry and get out into jobs, which are there, both locally and in other places. And one of the things I think this last few months has taught us is that in a lot of industries, and particularly in the field of entertainment technology, the ability to work remotely and the ability to work have a kind of workflow that is digital and remote is a skill that's worth having, and that's important, I think, to say. So I like to say, you know, our program is for the people who want to be YouTubers, who want to be filmmakers, who want to be storytellers. At the same time, we also try to give the pathway toward working for larger institutions, actual salaried positions for larger institutions and companies. In fact, the impetus of this program came from a guy named Philip Morris, who is the CEO of Proctor's Theater in Schenectady. And it was he who came to FMCC saying, we need workers. Can you develop a program to, kind of put people into these positions? And we, of course, said yes. And, here we are now with the entertainment technology program. And the good thing is that we were able to work with lots of other different employers all around the capital region, and we're moving, even further, geographically further now, to try to capture different employers so that we can match our students up in pretty specific ways in the way that the student wants to, angle themselves. As Joel said earlier, we also like to put students in internships with company. On-the-job training is one of the things that it's important to have under your belt when you're getting out there into the job market. Before you get to the internship, though, you got to take some classes. So what kinds of classes will you be taking? As I said, there are design classes, there are technology classes, and in some cases, as both of my colleagues have said before, there is the concept of working with paper and pen, the idea of, design ideas, which we then use digital tools to move from concept to a kind of finished product. And the digital tools that we concentrate on in this program are, some of them are from the Adobe suite, as Joe mentioned before. The particular one that we concentrate on in my program is Adobe Premiere Plus, which is video editing software. We also use Adobe Audition for audio production. And the other big piece of software that we're training students on is called Vectorworks, which is a piece of design software that's useful in the entertainment field, but also there are many uses, architecture, and different kinds of design, in many different fields. So what kinds of jobs are people looking at? Well, like I said, there's the idea of freelancing from Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Sorry.
Thanks,
I'm
Jake.
sorry. Here I am talking about technology. As I was saying, one of the things that entertainment technology degree allows you to do is freelance and go from place to place to place on technical crew positions, dealing with lighting, sound, video, audio technology. Also, as I said, there's the entire kind of field of game design and production, and that can be something as kind of simple as an entry-level position as a beta tester for games, all the way moving up to technical production and coding, and at the same time, the storytelling and artistic side of game design. And perhaps kind of most importantly of all, one of the final kind of core competencies of this program is the idea of production and project management. That is, whatever kind of entertainment a person is working on, whether it's live, whether it's computerized and digital, whether it's animation, whether it's audio visual, is the idea to take something and shepherd it through from idea to finished product. And in a nutshell, that is the entertainment technology program.
We do have a question for you. Jackson is asking, I heard once that the video game class would be connecting with Nintendo. Is that true? And would we do that?
Hi, Jackson. I think Jackson and I have already connected via email, which is great. But that is not, hey, man, that is not something that we've necessarily put into place, but there is a video game design course here at FM. And like I said, within the entertainment technology program, we're trying, especially at the beginning of the program here, to reach out to all parts of the industry that we can. So no, right now, as of this moment, there's no specific connection to Nintendo, but that's something we can certainly explore.
Excellent. And Karen has a question that you said that it's an AAS degree, but can a student still transfer with that degree?
Yes, absolutely. It's not designed and geared necessarily for transfer, but for many years, for forever, students at FM who are in AAS programs have also transferred to other schools. And in fact, our first cohort of students that we're, that are going through the program right now who are going into their second year are now making the decision about whether or not they want to transfer or whether they want to jump right into the industry. And we're kind of individually, it's again, one of the benefits of working at a small school or coming to a small school is that we as instructors can give students personal advice and personal direction on how best to get to their goal, whether that be a four-year school, whether to transfer or to go out into the industry.
And there is another question from Mark. This question I'm going to direct to all of you. Are there internships involved? And if so, where do most of the internships take place?
Well, currently I have an intern that was there for the spring as far as she could go at Rickmar Printing in Amsterdam. We've also had them at Amsterdam Printing, and also with previous graduates who have worked at various locations in the Gloversville, Johnstown, Amsterdam, and Capital District area that were willing to take a student for a semester to do graphic design. And so that's been ongoing, and we continue to look for sites for students to build their career. And we also have a coordinator on campus, which helps us with that process as well.
Joel, you're muted.
Joel or Joe?
Joel was.
Okay.
There we go. In my program, since the internship opportunity had just came up, we're looking for sites, and like I said, majority of those are probably going to be in museum and gallery type situations. So we're already looking into, say, Arkell Museum in Canajoharie and State Museum perhaps. So stay tuned.
And for me, as I've already mentioned, we have a connection with Proctor's Theater. We have a connection with Capitol Repertory Company in Albany. We have a connection with a group called Adirondack Studios out in the Glens Falls area. And we have a connection with a company right in Albany called Vicarious Visions, which is a division of the Activision video game design or video game studio.
Excellent. Well, I don't see any other questions. Is there anything else that any of you would like to share or Are we good? All right.
I'll just share. I'll give one last word. That these are interesting times, certainly for all of us in education and just in life. And I think one of the benefits that our school offers is the ability for students to really, in person or online, come together and make real progress and growth toward the goals that they want to make. I think that's sort of the key in all three of our programs in many ways, is that there are lots of opportunities out there, and a big part of our job is to get you going toward that opportunity that you want.
Excellent. Thank you. I want to thank the three of you for being with us this afternoon. I also want to thank everyone for attending this Professor Chat. If you have any questions about these programs or any other programs that we offer at FM, I encourage you to visit our website, fmcc.edu, and you can reach out to the admissions office directly from there. Again, thank you all for attending and have a wonderful day.
Have a great day.
Bye, everybody. Hope to see you soon.